Now, recent accomplishments favor Miami, but the history book and the shot clock like San Antonio.
Nice. The defending champion Miami Heat facing a Spurs team, which is 16-6 all-time in NBA Finals games, the highest winning percentage of any team.
Any team.
In NBA history. Miami is the place we go. Game 1. The Heat coming off just 2 days rest from a 7-game series with the Pacers. Spurs with 9 days rest, which has historically helped them in Game 1s. A 12-10 record on less than 5 days rest, 7-0 with over 5 days rest. Coach Pop.
We haven't played in a long time, so that's my biggest concern. I don't really know what to expect.
Well, let's find out. We'll do it together. The Spurs didn't look rusty out of the gate. They shot 43% from the field in the first quarter. Tony Parker, the floater. Danny Green from way out there. And then later, after Green hits the 3, goes Splitter. Splitter's going to get some things done. He'll get the lay-in on the pick and roll with Tony Parker. So the Spurs, they take that start any day on the road. And they've played so well on the road in this postseason. Meanwhile, the Heat came out attacking the rim. If only they did that throughout the game. You'll find out later. LeBron in transition, finding D-Wade cutting. Wade with 17 points. And then Wade going in the paint, driving, getting the tough lay-in. And then later, LeBron. James allowed to get right there for the lay-in. Popovich not happy with the Spurs D right there.
We had great shots. They didn't go in. But I'm not happy with the transition. There was no transition D back.
You know, several Heat bench players also contributed from downtown. Ray Allen got off to a very good start. It's been an inconsistent postseason, but he comes through there. He's wide open, and then Allen finding it and feeling it, knocking down another 3. That's his specialty, as we all know. And then later, LeBron James finding Mike Miller from downtown, from way downtown. And the Heat bench, well, they're simply on fire. Check out Norris Cole. Doing it from inside and outside. The Heat bench 4 of 8 from 3s in the first half. D-Wade loved it.
You know, we got to mix it up. We got to also attack, finish at the rim. We also got to find our shooters. That's what's made us a good team all year, is playing inside out, but our way.
But you know who struggled in the first quarter? Tim Duncan. 0 points, 0 for 5 from the field, 2 fouls in the first quarter. First time he's had 2 fouls in the first, all postseason long. And then he would respond in the second, backing down Chris Anderson. And wait, there's more off the Danny Green miss. Tim Duncan gets the rebound and the putback. And then Parker knows Duncan is feeling it now and finds him inside in the paint. That's an easy 2 for Tim Duncan. 0.8 of a second left in the half, and Duncan will knock down the jumper at the buzzer. Told you the 0 points in the first for Timmy. Second quarter, he had 12 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Huge difference. Let's go to the fourth. It was a 1-point game. San Antonio down. Off the miss by Gary Neal, Kawhi Leonard, who did such a great job guarding LeBron James when it mattered most, gets the tip-in. Spurs up 1. Under 4 minutes to go, Spurs up 4. It's Parker. What a fourth quarter for Tony Parker. He had 10 of his points in that fourth. Spurs up 6. Just over 2 to play. Spurs up 4. Green to be heard from 3-point range. It's the Spurs by 7. What's going on with the Heat in the fourth? LeBron to the rescue, driving, gets the 2, Heat within 5. Just over 1 minute to play, 4-point game. LeBron passes up a shot, kicking out to Bosh, who doesn't, wow, he doesn't make it from there. Spurs with a rebound. Bosh not thrilled. After 2 LeBron free throws, Spurs up 2, 16 seconds left. Significant. Tony Parker forced to the corner. LeBron hounds him. Parker falls down, keeps his dribble, gets back up, hits the shot off glass.
C'est magnifique!
As the shot clock expires, Parker fired up, and why not? But did he beat the buzzer? Bring out the ESPN access. Will you please? We got to figure this out. Parker, able to avoid LeBron James. He did get the shot off before the shot clock expired. They looked at this about a zillion times. The ball appears to be just out of Parker's hand in time. An incredible play by Parker to stay with the play, keep his composure, and knock down the shot. Here's Parker and LeBron on the possession.
It was so crazy, that play, that after a while I was just trying to get a shot up. You know, I lost the ball like 3 times, and it didn't work out like I wanted to. But at the end, it was a big shot, and you know, it's like that in the finals. You need a little bit of luck, and we had it tonight.
Tough. You made me go back to that play. I mean, Tony did everything wrong and did everything right in the same possession. I mean, he stumbled 2 or 3 times. He fell over, and you know, when he fell over, I was like, okay, well, I'm about to try to tie this ball up, and he got up and went under my arm. I got a great contest, and he even double pumped it, and barely got it off. I mean, that was the longest 24 seconds that I've been a part of.
No question, Tony Parker, the best player on the floor in that fourth quarter. LeBron finding Wade inside? No, forget about it. Time will expire on the Heat. For them in game one, it was all Spurs when it mattered most. 92-88. They're up 1-0. LeBron, 18 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists. His 10th career playoff triple-double. Third in the NBA Finals in the loss. The Spurs, meantime, improved to 5-0 in game ones of the NBA Finals in their history. They do so by committing, get this, just 4 turnovers in the game and shutting down Miami's offense in that fourth quarter. Wade and Bosh combined for just 2 points in that final frame. Game 2 will now feel like a Game 7 for the Heat. Back in Miami Sunday on ABC.
We were very fortunate because it looked like he lost it 2 or 3 times, as you mentioned. But he stuck with it. You know, he kept competing. He gained control of it again. He got it up there on the rim. So great effort by Tony. And, you know, as I said, we were fortunate.
I see him go down, and I'm just praying he gets a shot off. Obviously, Tony makes an unbelievable play, and he does just about everything in the book that he had. He fell to the ground, pump fake, stepped through, and still got it off. It was just amazing.
I mean, a very, very good team. You know, no matter who comes in, you know, that's unselfish. Obviously, Tony is the engine, you know, behind, you know, everything. You know, give them credit. You know, they came in and they stuck with it, and they got a hard win, a tough win.
Well, the fourth quarter was the difference. You know, and I could see it on a few of our guys' faces. Felt a little fatigued, still a little banged up from that 7-game series, and you know, they looked like they were rested in the fourth quarter. We played some really good basketball, but in the closing quarter, we had some mental mistakes. And it's only a couple teams that you can't have mistakes against, especially in the fourth, and San Antonio is definitely the #1 team.
Let's talk more about Tony Parker. He deserves to be talked about. He played mistake-free basketball in game 1, 21 points, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. He's the first player to have at least 20 points and 5 assists in a finals game without turning it over since Chauncey Billups did it against the Spurs back in 2005. With more from Miami, our NBA Countdown crew.
Welcome back to Miami for our continuing coverage of the NBA Finals. Game 1 goes to San Antonio. Stole it, sort of, from the champs. You're looking at the 2 big guns for the Spurs, Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. Let's go in reverse order, guys. 5.2 seconds left. Tony Parker releases the shot. It has to be reviewed. Instead of a 2-point deficit, it's a 4-point deficit. Do we have unanimity?
I can close them.
Bill Simmons, ever the contrarian. Bill?
Good call.
All right.
Good officials tonight.
Good
game tonight.
And it was definitive, and it didn't take all night to make that call. They looked at it. They weren't going to change it. It looks from all the replays like the ball is out of Tony Parker's hands. And he capped off a great game, Bill, did he not?
Yeah, and it fit into a very well-played game. Super entertaining. Perfect match of styles. And Tony Parker made the 2 biggest plays of the game. The little spin move with 6 minutes left, took the crowd out of it, got his team fired up. And then this possession, basically last 25 seconds of the game, used up all the clock magic, then made an incredible shot. A potentially famous shot.
So what I love about it is Tony Parker took control of this game in the fourth quarter, scoring 10 points. But
no turnovers.
What this came down to, the Spurs' big 3 outplayed Miami Heat's big 3. And then 2 other guys for the Spurs were in double figures. Jalen, they had 5 guys in terms of the Spurs in double figures. That means the Heat defense was not there.
Because Tony Parker is dribbling around, creating shots for himself and for others. And Tim Duncan, 20 and 14.
Yeah.
But the
Outplayed
matchup,
Chris Bosh.
No, totally. But also for Tony Parker, 10 points in the fourth. The big 3 for Miami, 8 points total. Dwayne Wade, 0 points in the fourth. Great character win in game 1 by the Spurs.
Let's stay on Tony Parker for a second. You got a little bit of heat when you said, and you've been saying this for a while, Tony Parker, if you were going to look at the most important players, best players in the league based on this season, take everything into account, Tony Parker's as high as number 3.
Absolutely.
This is why?
Yeah. Kobe Bryant is injured. I know he's a 5-time champion. He's the Mamba. Okay. Derrick Rose has won MVP. I get that. They're injured. You got KD and you got LeBron. Any player you're going to name after that, Tony Parker has accomplished more, and he is doing more right now. So, yes, I stand
Hold on,
by
and that last point's a key point because remember Golden State Game 3? Golden State on all the momentum, great crowd at home. Parker went in and killed him. Same thing with Memphis. We were at those games, sitting next to Magic. It was actually kind of a thrill. Former point guard, Hall of Famer, watching Tony dice him up. Magic's going, oh, they're making like little groans and noises. I love that.
He was making noises for a different reason in part of Game 1 because LeBron James was not doing what we're accustomed to seeing LeBron James do. Oh, wait a minute. He had a triple-double, but he didn't have the impact we're accustomed to seeing.
We have to remember, see, we were talking about rust versus rest. This rest helped the Spurs, and then Miami only had 2 days in between that tough 7-game series playing against the Pacers. That hurt them. LeBron James, look, he got double-teamed every time he came off that pick and roll or he was trying to get into his one-on-one game.
The lane was never open.
And they clogged the lane. That was the other thing.
Exactly. So, LeBron, a triple-double, he played a great game. Look, this is good as Miami
well, he
can
didn't play a great game. He played a good game.
A triple-double.
He's the best player in the league. I'm saying.
What are we expecting him to do against the smart defensive-minded Spurs?
Here's what I wanted. I wanted them to post him up. I think he has an overpowering advantage over those guys. I don't want him 25 feet from the basket. I want whoever it is, Danny Green, Parker, Ginobili, whoever's out there, post him up. Get a double team and find an open shooter.
I think you're right there. They should post him up, and I'm sure they will do
I
that
guarantee
more.
they will in Game 2.
But I'm telling you what right now what's happening. He cannot come out and average 30 points like he did against Indiana.
Well, we're not asking him to do that. I'm just saying go down low. Do what he did to Paul George.
Series, and
he can't
he's
do it
tired.
to Paul George. Kawhi Leonard's a bigger guy,
That's right.
And he's the
He's not a bigger guy than Paul George.
Yeah, he is. Bigger, stronger. Yeah, he is.
Oh,
he
stop it.
LeBron James
weighs 290 pounds.
I didn't say he
can't
was as
post up
big
Kawhi
as
Leonard.
LeBron James. I'm just saying Paul George is like a pencil body compared to Kawhi Leonard. And
go to the hole. Go down the hole, post the little guys up.
Bill Simmons, to Magic Johnson's point, this is a team game.
Yes.
And when a guy gets 18 rebounds, that's normally what your power forward or center does.
It's 16
when
of
a
them
guy
on the
gets 10
defensive
assists, that's normally what your point guard does.
Right.
He actually was posting up and collapsing the defense.
And then they went away from it.
The problem is his power forward, instead of playing like a 4 or 5, Chris Bosh, he's playing like a 2 or 3, and the geometry of the floor allows him to be open for a reason.
That's right.
We're gonna wrap it up and throw it back to the studio. One observation: the San Antonio Spurs didn't hit threes like they normally do. They got out-rebounded and still win Game 1 in Miami.
4 turnovers.
Which means Miami only 4 turnovers, as Bill Simmons is pointing out. Miami's got a whole lot of adjusting to do.
That's right.
Between now and the start of Game 2.
On most nights, LeBron James and company wear teams down with superior conditioning. This was definitely not one of those nights. On this night, the younger Heat were facing a San Antonio team whose big three range between 31 and 37 years old. Miami prides itself on fourth-quarter execution, but they were pickpocketed by Kawhi Leonard, hounded by Manu Ginobili, and harassed by Tony Parker. 5 fourth-quarter turnovers undid the Heat, a team that committed only 2 in the entire first half.
I thought we was a little fatigued, honestly, in the fourth quarter. Looking around, we looked like a team that came off a 7-game series.
Well, the fourth quarter was the difference, and I could see it on a few of our guys' faces. Felt a little fatigued, still a little banged up from that 7-game series, and they looked like they were rested in the fourth quarter, and they took advantage of that. We had some mental mistakes. There's only a couple teams that you can't have mistakes against, especially in the fourth, and San Antonio is definitely the #1 team.
So for the 5th time in the last 2 postseasons, the Miami Heat have squandered home court advantage before the series left South Beach. They overcame Indiana and Oklahoma City last year and survived the Bulls and Pacers to get to this point. But San Antonio is an entirely different challenge. Not only are the Spurs 7-1 on the road this postseason, but their core players have more championship experience than Miami's. The Spurs have never lost Game 1 in 5 NBA Finals appearances. Perhaps it's no coincidence, San Antonio has also never lost a championship series.